There's a guy in my gym who's tried everything: keto, carnivore, careful meal prep, calorie counting. He now microdoses GLP-1s, started peptides 2 months ago, but he's still not lean. And of course he trains. That's the thing. He's in the gym 4 or even 5 times a week. He's not lazy. And also he's not uninformed. He's probably done more research into this than most people I know. And yet at this point, that might be part of the problem. But he keeps skipping past the boring stuff and looking for whatever's next. And that's exactly what's keeping him stuck. My name's Adam, I'm a performance nutritionist, and at this point I've helped over 200 men lose fat and keep it off. So if you've been lifting consistently, eating reasonably well, and you're not seeing the results you should be, this is for you. These are 5 habits that separate the men who actually get lean from the men who keep trying. And none of them are interesting. So I used to weigh myself 2 to 3 times a week, which is sometimes fine. But I considered myself having a very healthy relationship with a scale. And by which I mean I would see a high number on a Wednesday morning, and immediately cut food, train harder, and spiral through the rest of the week, convinced something had gone wrong. But the problem was I was making decisions off noise. Your weight can fluctuate 4, 5, even 7 pounds in a single day. Nothing to do with fat. Just water, salt, carbohydrates, digestion. It all moves a number. So judging a deficit by a single weigh-in is like checking the forecast once and deciding what to wear for the next month. You're just reacting to things that don't mean anything in isolation. But what changed for me was weighing in every single day and looking at the weekly average at the end of the week. You lean into the data instead of flinching at it. And suddenly you're not cutting food unnecessarily because one Wednesday morning spooked you. The actual deficit that works for most men who are already lifting is modest but meaningful. Roughly 15 to 25% below maintenance. And if nothing's shifted after 2 weeks, I mean your weight hasn't moved, your waist hasn't dropped, and your photos look exactly the same. Yet you've been consistent. You can bring calories down by 150 to 200 per day, and that's it. This may sound surprising, but most men who come to me stuck aren't in the wrong deficit. They've just blown it up and restarted 3 times because the scale frightened them on the wrong morning. For most men who are already lifting, the issue almost never is that they don't know about protein. They know. They think they're eating high protein meals and they've heard it all before. But they just haven't made it a non-negotiable foundation for every meal. I had a client, Tom. He generally couldn't understand why nothing was shifting. He was training hard and eating what he described was clean. But then we went through his food diary and there were 3 or 2 sometimes protein bars every day. Not a bad problem, but each one was 250 calories. Then a couple of spoonfuls of peanut butter alongside them because it's protein, so it counts. Now he was bringing in 750 calories extra each day from things he didn't consider as food. He saw them just as snacks, something you eat between real meals. And these extra calories weren't keeping him full, but they were just adding up. The fix was simple: restructuring his plate. Pick your lean protein first, and then 1 to 3 vegetables or fruits with real fiber. And then carbs and fats around that. But every meal in that order. And the numbers across the research are pretty consistent, at least 0.7 grams per pound of your body weight per day of protein. So around 140 grams for a 200-pound male, or anyone actually. Then spread that across 2 to 4 meals. It doesn't have to be even, just what makes sense for that specific situation. Now, when those 2 things are anchored in, staying in a deficit stops feeling like a restraint. You're just full, and the protein bars become what they actually are: an occasional thing, by no means a strategy. Okay, so there was a time where I used to go through peanut butter at genuinely an impressive rate. Not because I sat down and decided to eat it as part of a meal, but because it was just there. A 2-pound tub on the counter. And every time I walked through the kitchen, I'd have a spoonful, which eventually became 2. Which, if you've ever done the maths on peanut butter, it adds up to a significant number of calories by the time you've made it through a week without even sitting down and having it as like part of a meal. And lean men aren't running on more willpower than you. They just don't keep the problem in the house. The practical version of this is where you plan your next shop or food delivery. You buy one or two simple sources of protein, staples even, deli chicken, rotisserie chicken, Greek yogurt, tinned fish, easy stuff you can just pull from the fridge. Then you prep a batch of vegetables, or you have some fruit, that's easy, some berries, and some fibrous carbs. You add in a sauce or a spice, and then you set up two options. You have two combinations for days where everything usually falls apart because maybe you're too busy and you need something in like 3 minutes. This stops you buying the things you eat on autopilot in Costco or Amazon in bulk. If it's in the house and you love it, especially in bulk, assume it's getting eaten. That's just how it works for almost everyone, including me. By the time you're standing in front of the fridge at 10 p.m., you want to have that decision made for you when you went shopping 3 days ago. And the guy in Gym on Peptide, he's not irrational. I just want to be clear about that. He's done it because everything he tried eventually stopped working, or it felt like it stopped working. So he went for something that had more horsepower. And that's a logical response if you don't have a system that adjusts. Because here's what happens when men don't have that. Something stops working and they assume the whole approach is broken. Then they switch to something else entirely. That new thing that works for a few weeks, then it stops. And the cycle just keeps going. This constant search for the new thing that's going to speed things up. But a system that adjusts looks like this. Once a week, average weight. Waist measurement once every week or every 2 weeks. And an honest score of how consistent you were with your habits. We're not talking about how you feel about it, but actually how consistent you actually did it. And be honest with yourself. Then one simple rule. If nothing's changed after 2 weeks and you've been consistent, drop 150 to 200 calories. Maybe add in more steps instead, or some cardio. Just don't do it all at once, or you'll always hit the same wall. If you're losing weight quickly, but your strength is falling and you feel rough, like you can't continue, eat slightly more. Take a week near maintenance with the same structure, the diet break. But what you're not doing is scrapping everything. A 2-week plateau is not evidence that approach is malfunctioning or that your body is just stalled. It's information. And now you adjust it and carry on. The men who stay lean aren't necessarily on better plans, but they're on one they can actually fine tune. In my early 30s, I was training like I was preparing for something, like I was a professional athlete, lifting 4 times a week, HIIT most days, boxing. It was about 8 to 10 hours a week of training, sometimes closer to 15. And I was flexing about this. I was proud of it. Now factor in the fact I was also running a business and sleeping somewhere between 5, maybe 6 hours a night. Yet I was confused at why, despite all my effort, my body composition wasn't reflecting what I was putting in. I was hungry all the time and I kept overcompensating with food. But at the time, I couldn't really explain why. Now, when you look at the research, it's pretty clear what was happening. When you're in a calorie deficit, sleeping 5.5 hours instead of 8, you lose a similar amount of weight on the scale, sure, but significantly more comes from lean mass. More muscle loss equals more hunger hormones and worse adherence. Now, the deficit that should be working costs you far more than it needs to. All that training was real stress load on the body. Sleep deprivation stacks straight on top of that. So the training wasn't necessarily the problem, but the recovery was. 7 to 9 hours a night with the same wake time every day, plus or minus 1 hour. Weekends too, because your body doesn't care that it's Saturday. Have a simple 30 to 60 minute wind down. Lights low, no screen, and open those darn windows. Make the room cold. Most of all, have something you can repeat every night without even thinking about it. And that's it. No supplement, no recovery protocol, just more high quality sleep. If you're lifting hard, eating in a deficit, and sleeping 5 hours, you're actively choosing to lose more muscle, feel hungrier, and need significantly more discipline than the man who goes to bed at a reasonable hour. 5 habits and none of them require peptides. The man I mentioned at the start, he's not missing information. He's actually really close. He's already training, already thinking about what he eats. But every time something doesn't work, he goes looking for the next thing. And that search is what's keeping him stuck. But the answer was always in the boring stuff he kept skipping. And if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and watch this one next. I'll see you there.